Alright, and welcome to a tier list. This time around, it's going to be a tier list on which characters you should be picking up in solo queue, as well if you're playing with a friend. You guys really liked my tutorial or guide video about how to solo queue effectively, so I figured I might as well just make a video about characters you should be picking up, in case you haven't yet, to climb faster in solo queue. So, starting off with Super Saiyan Goku. Probably one of the best, if not the best solo queue character, because he has a boss secure, he's relatively tanky, and does quite a lot of damage. He can solo kill a boss if done correctly, so if you pick him up, it's pretty much super easy to play. And yeah, there's not a lot of downsides picking him, besides maybe Spirit Bomb being a bit slower. So in case you face a whole stack, people might one-shot the boss before you can one-shot them, so just beware of that. Next up is Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I'd say he's in between. Like he's not the best in solo queue, but you can definitely make him work. The issue is that he's a character that's reliant on snowball stacks. So if you die trying to get the towers, you lose all your damage. And that's not ideal, but he has a boss secure and can definitely pressure your opponents on the whole lane with his TP. So definitely picking him up if you already haven't done it already. Next up, Daima. Same scenario. Technically a boss secure, has a lot of damage. The issue is that he also needs snowball stacks. And yeah. I don't think you should be picking him up in solo queue, but he can work. Vegito, definitely really good in solo queue. He's very independent, very selfish of a character. He can if you do it correctly 1v4. I've almost done it sometimes, like 1v3, 1v2. But yeah, and in solo queue, if you're fighting other solo queue players, everyone's disorganized. You can capitalize on it and just deal so much damage. Trunks, as much as I like Trunks, you should avoid him in solo queue, because he's super squishy and he kind of relies on your team to do the damage first before he swoops in and kills everyone. Also, he's reliant on snowball stacks to do damage. So yeah, but he also wants to jump in to kill people. So it's kind of counterintuitive in this current meta for him to die, but him needing kills to do damage. Next up, Piccolo. Very strong, probably the best boss secure, but he needs a team. You need a team to defend him in case you're about to charge your special beam cannon. Which is why I'm putting in this tier, or which is why this tier exists. Because he needs someone to defend him. I know really good players can make it work in solo queue, and that's fine. But for him to work best, it's if you have a Gohan who puts up a shield, or a Vegeta that kicks people away from him. Like anyone that can defend him. 18, you should avoid. Really strong early game, but she falls off super hard. And her boss secure is mediocre at best. It's kind of like Trunks. But Trunks at least has way more escape tools in case he gets in a bad fight. I mean, not way more, but the jump is definitely helps him out a lot to get away. Oop. Similar scenario to Piccolo. You kind of want to have a Gohan or any support to help him out. Like, he has self-peeling with his second skill and dashes, but he's also super squishy, so once you get a hold of him, he is pretty much guaranteed to die. So yeah, that's why I'm putting him in this works best in duo or even triple Q or whatever you want to call it. Broly, same argument as Vegito. Very good brawler, probably the best brawler, even better than Vegito. Is immune to any stuns. So he can stay in the fight for quite a while, and his boss, he doesn't really have a boss secure. His boss secure consists of killing your opponents. Like, he goes on to the boss and just ults and hopes that your opponents die while he's ulting. Bojack, contrary to last season, he's not that good anymore. build-up got nerfed, and he also kind of needs snowball stacks. So he kind of fell off again. So you should avoid picking him up. But Deborah, yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing with Deborah. He's fun, probably. I mean, probably in lower ranks you can just stone people and kill them that way. But in higher ranks, people are just gonna avoid you and not gonna fight you until you get stoned. Which is why you don't want to use him. Kale, similar to Piccolo and Oop, she shines in boss secures, but only if you have a Gohan on your team. Otherwise, she's super squishy, and in solo queue, no one's gonna peel for you. No one's gonna look at you if you're about to die. Which is why you need someone in your team, like a Vegeta, or a Cooler, or Caulifla, that can peel you up for you. Hence the placement. Topo, yeah, I mean, Topo is like somewhere in between here. I think he's still usable. Like it's probably I'll put him here as usable because he's neither great in boss secure nor is he great in team fights. So I put him here. He's definitely better than these guys because at least his boss secure is instant. Like he's relatively tanky for sure, and his boss secure is like as big as a Gekidama. So it does a lot of damage, but it's really slow. So I wouldn't recommend using it, but if you want, you can. Gammas, definitely Z tier. Hard to kill, very good damage. His core breaker is a literal boss secure. So in case you get the level 11 when the third boss spawns, it's yours. Unless you mess up, it's definitely yours. Yeah. So that's the DPSs you want to pick up. Next up, we have the tanks. Vegeta, you want to avoid him. He can work in solo queue. Actually, let's put him usable. He definitely can work in solo queue because of how I explained to you guys. You should avoid team fights. You should avoid your enemies and just go for towers in case you can. And Vegeta excels in that. But the issue is that in case you need to team fight, in case something happens, he's completely useless. He cannot defend any of these characters, for example, all these characters that rely on snowball stacks. And that's pretty much it. He's basically another DPS that doesn't one-shot the boss, that doesn't do enough damage on his own. So he is in a usable tier for me. Caulifla, I'll probably put her here. I actually put it here. Because she can solo carry. The issue I have with Caulifla is even if you taunt everyone, like literally boss spawns, you taunt every one of your opponents, they can't spirit bomb, they can't special beam cannon on the boss. As long as your team doesn't do anything, her taunting doesn't help you. So she can have the highest CC possible, but if your team doesn't follow up, that's pretty much game. Like you can't do anything. That's why I was thinking about putting her here, because at least you have someone else in the duo queue that can help you out with the boss. But in some scenarios, especially at least in the higher ranks, people will be wary about the boss and see the opportunity. That's why this position. Cooler, Z tier, at least in this season. Decent boss secure. Very good CC against Vegeta and Gammas, for example. He pretty much counters Gammas and the Vegetos in the laning phase, as well as this Vegeta. I'll come to that later. So yeah, and yeah, decent damage, relatively tanky, and really good in team fights, as well as boss secure, of course. Cell, as crazy as it sounds, he's actually usable. Actually, I'd probably avoid. Never mind. I'd probably avoid him. The thing is, he's really good in this meta with his ult. Like his ult really shines when everyone tries to beam the boss somehow. But you go in as Cell and you ult. No one can get it besides your team. The issue is in solo queue, your team is not doing it. Actually, yeah, your team is not going for the boss most of the time, so you can't secure the boss. Your enemies are on top of you. You probably die, so you need to ult preemptively, which means that you can't use it for the boss anymore. Early game is super weak. I mean, I showed you with Super Start, Vegeta, this Vegeta just kicks him in the face, and he's completely useless. I outgapped him by 3 levels at some point. You should avoid him in solo queue. Zamasu, definitely usable, especially with the recent divine draws and changes. I've seen a lot of Zamasus having quite a lot of success in solo queue, especially since he's a really good brawler and has a okay boss secure. Like, he's not the best, but he's definitely usable in solo queue. In a 4-stack, you probably want to avoid him and have some more utility like this Cooler, Caulifla, or Vegeta. But for now, he's definitely usable. Actually, let me put him here. Baby, if you're duo queuing in a 4-stack, Baby is probably not as strong as any of these tanks. But in a duo queue, if you're queuing up with a Vegito, a Broly, a Gamas, he is really strong because you basically guarantee you're probably guaranteed to win the lane, actually, most of the time, because how strong his possession is. You just give every one of your you give the ally you go into lifesteal, and if it's a brawler, they're most likely gonna stay in the fight for so long that you can out-damage your opponents. Which is why he's best in the duo queue. But in a 4-stack, would probably avoid him, because if you're playing 4-stack, chances are high you're playing against other 4-stacks, and they will just punish it by having a 2v1 all the time on the lane. But in solo queue, definitely usable. Vegeta, Z tier, no questions. The kick, way too strong. His ult pushes out your opponents off the field, so they won't do any damage to the boss. The shield zone's really good. Really good peeling abilities. So yeah, Z tier. And different than from Caulifla is that it's not dependent on where your opponents stand. You can proactively attack them with your kick if you know where the walls are, for example. While Caulifla is kinda, even if they position incorrectly, it's up to you where you position yourself. Because even if they're taunted, they still target you. And if you're standing incorrectly, they can throw their abilities at you and somehow hit the boss or somehow hit your teammates. Meanwhile, Vegeta can just put up a shield and push everyone away, can kick them all away to zone them further from the boss. That's it. Now onto the oh yeah, and what I said about Cooler is Cooler basically counters Vegeta because his force field stuns Vegeta on his kick on his first skill. The only thing he can use is his shield, and that's pretty much it. So if you play a really good Cooler should be able to counter Vegeta. But most of the time, the Vegeta just does more for the team than Cooler. Yeah, that's what I want to complete my other argument. Now, up to Gohan. He's somewhere in between. If you know your DPS, he will be the best DPS support in the game. Why? Because of his third skill, the shield that debuffs the boss or any other characters and gives you buff effects. Increased buffs. The thing is that you don't know your teammates most of the time, right? So which is why he works best in the duo queue actually. But if you know your teammates are good, you can definitely go up here. But I wouldn't bring him in a solo queue match if I didn't know my teammates. If I recognize some names, I'll probably pick him because I'm confident that they will be able to capitalize on the shield. But if not, probably get one of these characters, like your friends play one of these characters, like these 3 characters, and you pretty much are guaranteed to secure the boss. Gohan, definitely a solo Q demon. You can just screw up people with your kicks, with your stuns. So definitely watch out for him. And there's not much to talk about him. I mean, you probably played against him, and he's very obnoxious to play against. I think he drove also a lot of people away from the game when he released. Krillin, usable. Yeah, it's not much. He does quite a decent amount of damage. His CC is basically just the slow from his 3rd skill, I think. And the Solar Flare, but Solar Flare is not that. I mean, most people can avoid it somehow, or it's really clunky to use. But he's usable. Like, he does decent amount of damage in case you need to carry, and he's decently fast to get towers because obviously he's support. Gotenks you should avoid this season, especially after his nerfs, and if the Divine Dross are the vanishing step recovery, because people can just vanish. You see them vanish, you first skill behind them, but they can vanish again because the vanish recovery Divine Draw is fast enough to recover. So you should avoid him this season. Really fun though. I mean, he's a cool unit, don't get me wrong. His ult definitely works very well on bosses in case everyone wants to spam their stuff. But most of the time people just spammed it already before you can even ult, or even when the silence of the ult applies. 17. Just because of this guy, he's usable. Personally, I would put him here. But just because of this guy, because he's the perfect counter to Gohan. He turns debuffs into he turns buffs into debuffs. So in case Gohan jumps onto someone, like for example onto Kale with his shield, you use your abilities with 17 on them. Their energy defense up goes down, and any of these characters that does energy damage just one-shots them. So he basically just perfectly counters this Gohan. The issue is that he does not really have a boss secure. And his shield, I mean, people are telling me he's just running labs, which I agree with. That's why I was thinking about putting him here, but because of his existence, you can use him. Boo. Duo Q. I was playing Boo a lot in this 1st and 2nd season, at least early. Because he was a fun, I mean, he was basically just Zoraka, if you played League of Legends. Just running around healing people and zoning people off with a 3rd skill. But yeah, again, same with all the other supports. You're kind of reliant on your team to do something. And if your team is really behind, then Boo doesn't help. Boo is a character that helps you win harder, if you get what I mean. If your team is behind, Boo will not do anything, because he'll try to heal a character that will probably just get one-shotted by Goku's Kamehameha, by Piccolo's Demon Wave. So if you have a teammate you can rely on, definitely usable. I mean, he works best in the scenario where you can rely on your teammates to be actually good. Frieza, you should avoid. He can be reduced as ratting, but he's super squishy, especially with the nerfs, like the build-up nerfs. So he will just die once he tries to rat. In case, actually, nah, you should avoid using him. And hit, obviously, top 1. I mean, he's probably better than. I mean, it's not ordered. But hit as a solo carry is really good. He can rat so effectively. Your opponents can't do anything really if you go invis and use your first skill or chip. The first chip will always go through. Most of the time, it will always go through. Even if you die, it doesn't matter if the boss isn't spawning yet. So you can just keep doing that while your team is defending. And obviously his ult is super strong for team fights, where you just pop your ult, everyone's blind, and you just run away, or even try to kill someone. and go for towers. So hence why you should be picking him up in case you want a solo queue grind. And actually, let me... No, I'll leave it like that. Anyway, let's put him here. Let's put him here. Anyway, that's my tier list on which characters you should be playing in solo queue or in if you have a friend in duo queue. And tell me guys what you think. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Peace. And don't forget to subscribe.